Welcome to your favorite channel, where you'll learn everything you need to know to improve your health and lifestyle. Let's get started.
Hey everyone! So there's this wellness trend that's getting a ton of buzz, and it's all about something super simple, connecting with the ground under our feet. It's called earthing, or sometimes grounding, and people are claiming it has some really incredible health benefits. But the big question is there any real science to it? Let's dig in. You know that feeling, right? That amazing, simple pleasure of just kicking your shoes off and feeling the grass or the sand. Well, the people who are really into earthing say that feeling isn't just a nice sensation. They believe something profound, something biological is actually happening. So let's explore what's supposedly going on when your skin meets the soil. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with what earthing is all about and the main theory behind it. Then we'll get into all the amazing health benefits people talk about. Before, and this is important, we'll look at the scientific skepticism and some other possible explanations. And at the end, we'll wrap it all up with a solid, grounded takeaway. Okay, first things first, what are we even talking about here? At its very core, earthing is all about reconnecting our bodies to something pretty fundamental about our planet, its natural electrical charge. The whole idea is that our modern lives have kind of cut us off from the earth. Think about it. We wear rubber-soled shoes, we live and work in buildings high off the ground. We're basically insulated. Earthing is the simple act of breaking through that insulation. Now, this can be as easy as walking barefoot on the grass or dirt or a sandy beach. Or if you want to bring it indoors, there are actually products like conductive mats and bed sheets that you can plug into the grounding port of an outlet to get the same effect. So how is this connection supposed to actually work? Well, the main idea, the scientific claim that holds this whole practice up, is something called the electron transfer hypothesis.
Okay, so here's how the theory breaks down. Step 1, you make contact, skin to ground. Easy enough. Step 2, the Earth, which is like this giant reservoir of negatively charged electrons, starts transferring those electrons into your body. Step 3, and this is the key part, these electrons supposedly act like tiny antioxidant superheroes. They go in and neutralize these nasty things called free radicals, which are unstable molecules that cause damage and inflammation. And the final step, the end game, by getting rid of those free radicals, the theory says you reduce oxidative stress, which is a major, major cause of chronic inflammation.
And this slide right here really paints the picture. On the left, you've got the typical modern person. We're ungrounded, disconnected, potentially building up all this positive charge and stress in our bodies. But on the right, you have the grounded person. They're plugged back into the Earth's endless supply of negative electrons. And in theory, this creates a more balanced, more stable electrical environment inside the body. So, if that's the theory, what about the results? This is where things get really, really interesting. Because the advocates for earthing and some of the early research report a pretty huge range of health benefits. I mean, just look at this list. The benefits people talk about cover everything from reducing chronic pain and inflammation to getting a better night's sleep by helping to normalize your body's stress hormone clock. There are also claims that it can lower stress by calming your nervous system, help wounds heal faster, and even make your blood less thick and sticky, which could be a huge deal for heart health. And some of the personal stories are just, wow. Proponents point to these really compelling case studies with pictures, like a stubborn wound on an elderly woman that hadn't healed for 8 months, and then it reportedly cleared up in just a couple of weeks with daily grounding sessions. There's another famous example of a Tour de France cyclist whose nasty leg injury healed incredibly fast with very little inflammation, letting him get back in the race. This chart comes from a small study on what happens after a tough workout. They had people exercise to the point of getting sore muscles. And as you can see, the group that was grounded afterward reported feeling way less pain. Their pain scores are just so much lower than the ungrounded group. They also had lower levels of certain markers in their blood that indicate muscle damage. Now, the claims are amazing, for sure. But this is where we have to hit the brakes a little bit and ask the tough questions. Does all this really hold up when you put it under a scientific microscope? And this quote pretty much gets to the heart of the problem that a lot of scientists have with the research. Professor Judy DeHaan points out that while the ideas are interesting, the actual studies published so far have some pretty big weaknesses. So what are those weaknesses? Well, critics point to a few common issues. First, many of the studies have tiny sample sizes, like just a few people. That makes it really hard to say the results would apply to everybody.
A lot of them also aren't double-blind, which is the gold standard. That means the participants and even the researchers know who's getting the real deal, which can totally bias the results. And finally, a lot of the proof is based on people just saying they feel less pain or sleeping better, which is great for them, but it's subjective. The skepticism also gets down to the basic physics of the whole thing. Say, physicists have calculated the actual electrical current flowing into a person when they're grounded, and it is minuscule. We're talking about 10 nanoamps. To give you some perspective, that is over 1 billion times smaller than the current your lamp is using right now. 1 billion. So critics are asking, how could a current that tiny, that's almost impossible to detect, be powerful enough to cause all these major changes in the body?
Okay, so if the electron theory is on shaky ground, how do we explain the fact that so many people do report feeling better? Well, it turns out there are a few other powerful explanations, and these are backed by a lot more solid science.
There are really 3 big factors that could be at play here. First, the placebo effect. This is a real, well-documented thing. If you truly believe a treatment is going to help you, your brain can actually cause real physical improvements. Second, the very act of grounding is often relaxing. You're lying on the grass, you're paying attention to your body. That's basically a form of mindfulness or meditation, which we know reduces stress. And third, maybe the most powerful factor of all, is just being outside in nature.
And this isn't just a hunch. We have hard data on this. A massive review of over 30 different studies confirmed that just spending time in natural environments, whether you have your shoes on or not, is directly linked with lower levels of cortisol, our main stress hormone. So the benefits people are feeling might have nothing to do with electrons and everything to do with the simple, proven healing power of being outdoors.
All right, so after all that, where do we land? We've heard the exciting claims and we've heard the serious criticisms. Let's try to pull it all together into a clear, balanced conclusion.
This table really sums up the whole debate perfectly. You have the claim, the Earth sends free electrons into your body to fight inflammation. The evidence? A few small pilot studies. But then you have the scientific critique. The electrical current is too tiny to matter, and the studies themselves are flawed. The conclusion from proponents is that earthing is a breakthrough. The conclusion from skeptics is that the benefits are real, but they're almost certainly caused by other things we already understand, like the placebo effect or just being outside.
So here's the bottom line. The specific theory about being zapped with healing electrons from the Earth, well, it just doesn't have strong scientific support right now. But, and this is a really important but, the practice of earthing encourages us to do something that we know for a fact is amazing for us. Spend quiet, mindful time connecting with the natural world. So the why might be up for debate, but the positive outcome of the practice itself seems pretty clear.
And that really leaves us with one last thought. Is earthing some revolutionary health secret? Or is it maybe just a beautiful, simple reminder that in our crazy modern lives, we've kind of lost touch with something fundamental, and that just taking a moment to feel the ground beneath our feet is a powerful therapy all by itself? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.
Here are some tips to help you have a healthy and strong body and mind. Remember that we upload videos every day.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the world of biohacking and longevity.
So, can you really hack your own biology for better, longer life?
The answer might be simpler than you think. Basically, it's about making small, measurable changes to your lifestyle to optimize your body and mind.
But biohacking isn't just one thing. It can be simple habits or even high-tech experiments.
To make sense of it all, we're going to use this pyramid of health optimization. Let's start at the bottom. So, here's the plan. We'll start with the basics and work our way up to the really cutting-edge stuff. Okay, level 1, the foundation. These are simple habits that give you the biggest bang for your buck. Things like fasting, quality sleep, and just getting outside. And guess what? They're basically free. But if you're gonna focus on one thing, make it sleep. It's the master key to your biology, seriously. Just following a simple routine like this can totally transform your sleep quality and how you feel every day. All right, level 2, using good stress. The idea is called hormesis. A little stress actually makes you stronger.
Intermittent fasting is a perfect example. It's a popular way to improve your metabolic health.
Temperature is another one. A quick blast of hot or cold can trigger some really powerful responses in your body.
Get this, cold plunges can spike a key hormone by 200 to 300%. That's a huge boost for mood and focus. Okay, moving up to level 3, we're talking tech and supplements, and things are evolving fast here. Wearable tech is getting wild. We're seeing devices that can track hormones or even check your food for allergens.
The supplement world is also getting smarter, with a big focus on longevity and brain power.
These are the big players right now. They support things like cellular energy and brain function.
And get this, at-home NAD plus injection pens. They bypass digestion for a much more direct hit.
Now for the very top of the pyramid, the experimental frontier. This is where things get really interesting.
We're talking DIY gene editing, tech implants. This stuff really pushes the boundaries of what it means to be human.
But you gotta be careful. Even the FDA is warning about the serious risks of these unproven procedures. And remember, even safe stuff has risks. You absolutely have to talk to a doctor first. No exceptions. The key takeaway? Build from the bottom up. Master the basics before you even think about the advanced stuff.
So biohacking is a powerful toolkit, but you have to ask yourself, where's the line between optimization and obsession?
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can bring you better content. See you tomorrow with a new video.